What's up, Lions Nation? I am the Soul Man, and I'm here by myself for the moment. Statman is still on his way, so we're not going to jump into all of everything till he gets here. But we are live. We are live tonight for our pregame show, the Lions, our postgame show, the Lions and the Vikings. We have our pregame show coming up on Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Excited for that one. But we are going to talk about that Lions-Minnesota game and the Lions winning the division for the first time in 30 years. That was a big moment for me. I don't know about everybody else, but that was a really big moment. I was super excited and really happy. Yep, I was. So we are just going to kind of hang out for a minute until Statman gets here. I had to go live. Facebook will only let us go live before 7:10. That's right. What's up? NFC North champs. Yes. Yes, we are. I don't know if anybody's seen Aaron Rodgers' response to that, but he was like a sourpuss when it came to the Lions winning the North. And I seen a comment today, Larry Fitzgerald had some negative things to say about the Lions too, and that pissed me off. Hey, me too. I think me too, yeah. No, not me. I'm too old. Nope, I'm almost 39, so not first time for me. I guess I could pretend. If anybody wants to jump on with us and talk some Lions football, just let me know in the comments. I can bring you in. Statman said he needed a few extra minutes, so why he is not here yet, but hopefully he will be here soon. I mean, I could sit here and talk Lions football, but I don't like to do the show without him. So yes, I still have my Christmas tree up behind me. I'm not one that takes it down right away. I usually wait. Probably New Year's. We're going to talk about the player stats tonight. We're going to talk about the defensive stats, the game stats. There he is.
How's it going?
Sorry, I wasn't on the screen. I was replying to a message. Didn't see you there for a second. Statman, NFC North champions.
Yes, sir.
The Lions beating the Vikings. I have to ask you, how did you feel at that moment watching that happen?
Do you have your show right now?
Yeah.
So how are you going to film tonight?
We can do both.
What are you going to do?
I was going to help Angel clean out the tank for the Bearded Dragons.
You're going to clean out the tank and do the show at the same time?
Yeah.
That's going to be tricky.
I'm a very good multitasker.
How did you feel when they got that NFC North championship and that moment?
a huge relief. It's been years of watching the Lions lose, and we always have the hopes for the best every year. We always think they're going to be in contention for the NFC North crown, and now we can finally say we did it.
Did your eyes get watery at all?
No, I didn't
Don't
cry at
lie.
all.
Don't lie. It was a very happy moment. A lot of people did. My eyes watered up a little bit. I wasn't sobbing, but it was an awesome moment to see. The way it ended too was like perfect.
Oh, because we were talking about Melifonwu on the show
Yep.
in the pregame.
And then he got that INT, and it was like, boop, that's it.
2 sacks, 3 pass deflections, the interception, the seal of the deal, and 5 tackles. I mean, you can't hate on the guy. He's been balling out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened all of a sudden, but he sure has shown up. We're going to talk about it, but the defensive backs in general showed up. I mean, sack-wise, they had the most sacks was from a defensive back position. Statman, we are at 235 subscribers now. We gained 1 more. So thank you to that person. And on that march to 500. So we are getting there. One at a time. I don't care. But we're getting there. I wonder if people don't know that we are supposed to come on today for some reason. There's one person in here right now.
Maybe.
Usually we got Dar, everybody in here, but not today. Player stats. Jared Goff, 30 for 40, 257 yards, 1 touchdown. Gibbs had 15 carries for 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, and I believe he did have a fumble. Montgomery, 17 carries, 55 yards, 1 touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 12 receptions, 106 yards, 1 TD. Jamison Williams, 5 receptions for 43 yards. Laporta, 3 receptions, 18 yards, and Gibbs had 4 receptions for 20 yards. Jared Goff's play, Statman, he was playing really good. I mean, it took a little bit even for him to not have an incompletion, I believe. So I can't complain about the way he played.
Well, I called him to be my in the zone player. Throwing for 75% completion percentage. I mean, you can't knock on that. I mean, the guy knows how to take care of the ball recently, and it's really showing in the game.
Well, I think what we're seeing is coming from the offensive line is a big part of why we're seeing what we're seeing happen. But Jared Goff is still plenty capable of making throws, really nice, good throws on target almost every time. You know what I mean? Like he's starting to connect with Jamison Williams more, which is awesome because he was having some trouble with that. Dane's in the house, says, "What's up? What's up, Dane?"
What's up, brother?
He said, "Avery and Aubrey say hello."
Hi, Avery. Hi, Aubrey.
And Statman's mom's in the house. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello, Mama.
The
Always
defense.
appreciate the family coming in and supporting.
Yeah. Where's mine? Where's my family? Come on. My Uncle Bud's not even here. Player stats for the defense. Kirby Joseph, 6 tackles, 2 INTs. Brian Branch had 5 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception. Melifonwu had 5 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interception. And Okora had 1 sack. So, I mean, if you look at the sack department, they're all, besides Okora, they're all defensive backs. So this just reminded me of the question I wanted to ask you when it came to this was that just shows you, is Aaron Glenn starting to change things up a little bit because we're seeing that kind of stuff happen?
He's blitzing a lot more from the safety position, especially using Melifonwu in that. And he's getting there quick. Not giving quarterbacks enough time to even react to it. In both of those sacks, I mean, you could see it even against the Denver Broncos the week before. It was the same thing. He's the one that caused that fumble on Russell Wilson that Isaiah Buggs picked up and started running back.
Yeah, and you're right. They are definitely getting back there quickly. And that is causing the turnovers. The blitzes are causing all the turnovers. Now, we do have a poll question up in regards to Aiden Hutchinson for the pregame show, but I think I should have worded it a little differently, because what I meant by it was Aiden Hutchinson had no tackles, no sacks at all in that Minnesota game. I know he's still putting on a lot of hurries and pressures and things like that, but is it just based on the double teams, or is it something else? Or what is the reason that Hutchinson is not able to get those sacks or is not making those tackles like we've seen in the past?
Well, he might not be getting the sacks, the numbers in the sack department, but he's getting pressures, he's getting hurries on the quarterback, and also taking a lot of double teams on blocking on the opposite offensive line, which is causing a lot of the havoc for the other guys to get in and actually hit the quarterback. So, I mean, I don't take away from Aiden Hutchinson's play. He played very well in that game. He might not have any tackles or sacks, but he did enough to cause enough disruption on that offense.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Because he has to have so much double teams and things like that, that's leaving it open for others. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but Donovan says, hey.
Hey, buddy. Appreciate you watching. That's my youngest.
The game stats, total yards, the Lions had 389, Vikings 390. Passing yards, the Lions 246, the Vikings had 373. Rushing yards, Lions had 143, the Vikings had 17. First downs, Lions 28, Vikings 19. Third downs, the Lions were 6 for 12, the Vikings were 3 for 9. On fourth down, the Lions were 2 for 2, Vikings were 0 for 1. Penalties, the Lions had 9 for 52, Vikings 8 for 64. Turnovers, the Lions had 1 and the Vikings had 4. Time of possession, 38-22 for the Lions and 21-38 for the Vikings. Statman, the game stats, what's sticking out to you the most from that game?
What drove me the craziest, after having 4 turnovers on the Vikings end, we didn't capitalize on every one of those and put points on the board. Against great teams, we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to learn and figure out a way to take advantage of these turnovers and turn them into points.
Yes, I agree 100%. When you were saying that, it got me thinking about last night's game. One of those great teams got their butts, or Monday night's game, got their butts handed to them pretty well in the 49ers. So,
well, I mean, look at the time of possession difference between us and the Vikings. And they were still only 6 points away from us.
Yeah, that interception at the end of the game literally saved us from losing that game. Like, that was that. If they would have caught that, we would have been behind at that point.
Yeah.
So we did allow them to be there in the game. We did score. I think our production again in the third quarter was good. I think that we showed a little more promise in the third quarter again, like last week, which is a good sign. They didn't just come out and fluff off in that third quarter. I think that Jahmyr Gibbs fumble, I wasn't too worried about it, and I'm glad they didn't sit him out. Are they saving Montgomery, you think, for special occasions? Because it seems like, especially the last couple of weeks, Gibbs has come in and then he just seems to stay in.
No, I think it's more of that. I think they're trying to rotate the two, give them an even amount of touches throughout the game. And they're trying to give them both the opportunities to make plays because they know that both of them can make plays and will make plays.
Well, what's weird, it seems like to me when you're watching the game that Gibbs is in there a lot more. But if you look at the stats, Gibbs had 15 carries and Montgomery had 17. So he actually had 2 more carries. And like you just said, they're in there about the same amount of time. It just, I don't know. Maybe for me, it just doesn't seem like Montgomery's in there as much as Gibbs is. I don't know. I just was looking at after I said that, I wanted to look at the stats to make sure. But yeah, you're right. They're like right there even. Jason's in the house, said, let's go Lions. What up, though, guys? I hear we getting some defensive players back soon. Yeah, Houston and Gardner
Houston,
Johnson.
McNeil, and Gardner Johnson.
Yep.
All
McNeil.
set on their timetable to come back.
You know, and I feel bad because we haven't really mentioned Houston too much at all being out. But I think that's just as big of a deal, him coming back, as it is Gardner Johnson in a way. He was a hell of a player for us. He makes good plays. And McNeil, I'm really excited about that one. I am really excited about McNeil coming back.
He was leading our team in sacks.
Yeah, he's
as an interior defensive lineman. So I mean,
so we get we get some key defensive players back. Then we head to Dallas. This is going to be awesome.
I don't know if they're all going to be ready for Dallas game though. I know Houston got his timetable down for returning back to practice, but I think all 3 of them probably will be kept away from the field until playoff time.
You know, that is a good point. We don't even really – we're in the playoffs. So do you see any starters sitting?
Those 3? Because they're all technically starters.
Let's say we go on to Saturday night and we beat Dallas. Does Dan Campbell sit anyone for that Minnesota game?
No, because we beat Dallas. We're only 1 game away, a win against Minnesota, to get us the number 1 seed, especially if San Francisco gets knocked off by either the Rams or the Commanders in the next 2 games.
Yeah, they got their butt handed to them by Baltimore, that's for sure. We need James Houston to come back from injury like a ball of fire. I think if we heat up our pass rush, it will take a lot of pressure off of our defense.
Yeah, definitely will.
Go ahead.
When we had Houston healthy and then Hutchinson on the other side, we were able to put pass rush on with a 3 or 4 down linemen instead of having to send a pass rush from a blitzer, from a safety or a linebacker or a corner. We're able to get that pressure without that. So Houston's a big one. We really do need him back, and Aleem McNeil's just as important. If we can get those 2 guys back by playoff time, I mean, and they play as good as they did before they left, we're going to have a hell of a team.
Yeah, that's basically, I mean, you said basically what I was going to say as far as that goes. He just brings a whole nother element. And then if Aaron Glenn keeps doing things like he's doing right now, I honestly feel like it's going to be very hard for opposing offenses to come up against this defense right now. Did you see the thing I sent you, what Larry Fitzgerald said?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what it said. Hold on. I just seen this right before we got on the air. Got on the air like we're on a fucking news report. It said a team that hasn't won a division championship since 1993. It's hard for you to take them that serious. Yes, they're playing really well, but they are the Detroit Lions. That's what Larry Fitzgerald said today.
Well, I guess the team just needs to go out there and prove them wrong.
Seriously, that pisses me off so much. Like,
everybody around the league feels the same way about the Lions. They're like, they won the division, but we're just not sure about them. I think they're pretenders of the playoffs instead of contenders. That's what I keep hearing. And we just keep proving them wrong. They picked the Bears at the beginning of the season to win the division. And look where they're sitting. A lot of people picked the Vikings to win the division. Some people picked the Packers to win the division. Look how well they're doing. That's why I'm saying these guys that used to play football might know the old Lions to be the old Lions, like Fitzgerald. But, it's a whole new aspect to this team. It's driven by grit, it's driven by want, by need, and by passion. A lot of these players have so much passion for the team and playing for Dan Campbell. It's a dangerous team to going up against in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know how they sit here and say they're analysts and they're professionals and everything else, but they literally see things right in front of them, and they ignore the fact that we've won 11 games, and it's only our fourth time in the history of our franchise to win 11 games. And we're actually looking at more games to win. If we finish out, we're going to be 13-4.
13 if we win out. 13 wins. NFC Division Champion, North Division Championship, possible number 1 seed. This is a historic season for the Lions, and it's making me think of something I shared earlier on Facebook. Pat McAfee's show put up a clip, and he was talking about the Lions, and he was talking about Dan Campbell's very first press conference. The very first things that he said, you remember it, we all remember it, about biting kneecaps and winning NFC North and everything like that. And it was showing the different analysts how much crap they were talking about Dan Campbell and how crazy he is and he's never going to do this. Would it take 1.5 seasons? Or no, you know what I mean, though. From last season till now, it was like Rod St. Brown caught that touchdown when we hadn't won a game. Then it all
that was in
around.
the first season.
But Pat McAfee is right. He's right. It was exact what Dan Campbell said he was going to come in here and do. He did. What Dan Campbell said that this team is going to be, they are. We get
and most of this team, a lot of these players that are playing well for us right now, we got from the Matthew Stafford trade. Everybody thought we were crazy for doing that. Matt Stafford didn't want to play for the Lions anymore. He didn't want to play for a whole new coaching staff. And just imagine all these same analysts used to say that Matt Stafford will never win the big games. He's proven them wrong. He won a Super Bowl. You remember that was the whole thing? Matt Stafford can never win the big games, can't beat playoff teams, can't beat winning teams. No, it was the poor coaching staffs that we've had in the past years that have caused Matt Stafford to have that reputation. Matt Stafford has more arm talent than most of the quarterbacks that are in the league right now. These analysts know nothing. They're literally just paid to talk out their butt because they get more views or more likes or more shares because of it.
And no one's saying anything because we're not getting paid. So we're just talking out our butts for free. Victor says, I'm praying we beat Dallas. Facebook user says, what's up? What's up? Victor says, haters can't stand that it could probably be our time finally. Jason said, for us not to sit anyone, I think we need to keep our momentum rolling. I have seen too many teams sit players and then they come out flat. Correct. Candace says, hello, everyone. Hello, Candace. Again, thank you guys all for jumping in. If you missed it earlier, we hit that 235 subscriber mark yesterday. So thank you to our new subscriber. And please like, share, and subscribe with all of your Detroit Lions fan friends. Yeah, so kind of a weird story, and I'll get real quick to this. The maintenance guy that came into my house today is one of the Gwynn football coaches up here. And I know who he is. He came in, and he's also a diehard Packers fan. So, of course, he gets a kick out of when he walks into my house. It's like an instant rival. But when he was working on the drain there, he actually said, that's pretty cool. The Lions winning the North. He's like, I don't usually say things like this, but they're showing some good things, So there are other people, there are other fans out there who do recognize how good the Lions are doing, regardless of what people like Larry Fitzgerald have to say about it.
Yeah. There's going to be haters and there's going to be bandwagon people. People jumping on the bandwagon because we're doing good. And then there's going to be this.
Yep.
There's going to be the same old haters every year, same old Lions crap. Tired of hearing about it.
Yeah, and there's still people, even when we're doing well, that have to nitpick and pick out something negative. And I hate that. Especially Jared Goff. I'm tired of that crap. I'll tell you that right now. Dar is expecting me at some point to sing the fight song, and I'm not doing it. Just so you know.
Yeah, I heard your little warm-up fight song. I would not recommend it.
I was coming back from laryngitis. That's my Mariah Carey. You don't like it?
You sounded like Mariah Carey was getting choked out.
She was. See what I did? Yeah. Did you get your championship gear yet?
No, I have not.
Me neither. But I get paid this week, so
I
don't like the hat that they have right now.
No.
I don't like the design of it. They need to make a better one.
I like the shirt that says "It's a lock."
Yeah. They had those like a Nike one that was pretty sweet. I won't. Maybe Statman will just get one of those somehow.
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe. Well, I mean, Friday night we got our pregame show coming up for our Dallas game on Saturday, which I'm excited about. I didn't look. I know as of right now, the playoffs, we have the Rams. If it stopped right now, we'd have the Rams, which would be interesting at home. We do have a home playoff game, so that's going to be awesome.
Well, the Rams play the 49ers at the end of the season, too. I'd like to see Matt Stafford knock off the Niners for us to get the number 1 seed.
I was thinking about that, and I feel like the Rams could beat the 49ers, especially after the way Baltimore pretty much took them out like they took us out. Baltimore has a really good team, and Lamar Jackson is playing lights out right now. You know who I'm going to make a bold prediction before we get off of here. I have one team that I think has won a Super Bowl even as soon or as like last year and is going to go into the playoffs, and they're going to be eliminated right away. That's my prediction.
The old Chiefs?
Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to walk out of the playoffs after the first game. They're playing like dog crap right now.
You know whoever sneaks in, I think if Vegas finds a way to sneak into the playoffs, they're a dangerous team right now.
They just handed the Chiefs a whooping.
That team is playing lights out defense right now under Antonio Pierce.
Hear any news on CD Deuce Houston or McNeil returning? I don't know what the time frame is, but I know that we just talked about that they are definitely coming back. Statman, you don't think it's going to be like this upcoming game, but afterwards?
No, I think they'll be back for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think all of them will be back for the playoffs. At this point, right now, there's no point, especially someone like Gardner Johnson. There's no point of rushing him back. You know what I mean?
If we beat Dallas and the number 1 seed is in the balance for the game against Minnesota, I could see them possibly coming back for the Minnesota game if they're ready.
I agree. Well, we are at that 30-minute mark. So Thank you, everybody that came in and watched us. I know it was a little late for. Oh, we got one more comment coming in here. If we face a running QB in the playoffs, we're going to need Houston. I agree.
Yep. And there's enough of them.
Yeah. But hey, thank you, everybody, for hopping in. Joining us a few days later than normal, but we'll be back Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern for our pregame show. For myself and the Stat Man, everybody have a good night, and we will see you Friday night.
One pride.
One pride.